Right now, we're somewhere outside of Roswell, New Mexico, and for the next 72 hours, we're living completely off-grid.
Our batteries are full, our propane tanks are topped off, and our freshwater tanks are filled. I really do feel like we just learned how to RV all over again. Now, the reason this is actually a challenge for us is because we've never done this.
I'm starting to panic. I just don't want to get up the hill and we can't turn around. That was rocky, what we just went through. This is our first time testing out our RV's boondocking capabilities and seeing if we can rely on it to power our everyday life.
And we're still full, okay. For the next 3 days, we're gonna be relying on our 2 solar panels that provide us 380 kilowatt hours and our 2 12-volt, 430 amp hour batteries.
Our 2 biggest fears is that our fridge is gonna kill our batteries and we're gonna lose all of our food.
And that Ashton won't be able to conserve any of the fresh water we just filled.
Took some really fast showers. That's probably the fastest I've ever showered. If you're new here, we're Diego and Ash. We're full-time RVers traveling across the country, documenting life on the road, the places we explore, and what it's actually like living in an RV full-time. Right now, we're in the middle of our epic summer road trip, heading north towards Wyoming in our new RV for our next camp hosting gig right outside of Grand Teton National Park. We are headed to our very first ever boondocking spot, but before we can get there, we need to fill up our fresh water tank and we gotta dump our black tank so we can set ourselves up for success on this boondocking challenge.
However, we've made a couple calls to a couple local campgrounds in the Roswell area, and every single one of them has told us that they don't allow dumping and freshwater fill unless we pay for a nightly stay.
Which is super weird. I've
never heard of that.
Yeah, I've never had that happen to us before.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep looking and going from there, but hopefully we find something. Oh, hang on, someone's calling me back.
Oh, sweet, yay.
It's called Main Trailer Sales, and the man, her husband says that they have a dump site there.
Okay, sounds good. I will give them a try and I'll go from there. Thank you so much for calling me back with that information. Oh, there's nowhere to get in. It's closed.
Like we thought, it says it's closed today.
Yep.
Why did she tell us that we could do that? You want to call that lady back?
No, I mean, she clearly doesn't. No, not to be rude, but she clearly didn't know what she was talking about.
True. There was an RV park that we passed.
Yeah, let me circle back to that RV park.
Yeah.
And see if I can't just dump in there. If not, we'll continue on. And hopefully we find something to dump and fill with. Hey guys, is there a dump station and somewhere to fill or no?
If I had an open spot, yes, but I'm full.
Oh,
I have
man.
nowhere to pull through. I can get you water, but I don't have a dump station.
You can get us water?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, what do I owe you? Nothing. You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Where do you need me at?
Over here.
Over here?
Circle around.
Circle around? Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
This place was really cute. I'm glad we came in. It's called
Yeah.
Wild Willie's in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah.
It's a super clean little park. Everyone was so sweet. Yeah, I would definitely stay the night here
Honestly,
if we were staying here.
Yeah. William, the Wild Willie of the Willie, he...
Of the Willie Wild West.
Yeah. He was telling me that he bought the place 6 years ago. He's been renovating. It looks great.
It looks really nice.
Yeah. They just don't have your traditional dump and fill station, but that's okay. They went above and beyond for us.
Yeah.
Put it on 4 high. I think that's plenty. That looks like a spot right there. Let me check it out. Oh, this looks pretty good. It's nice. It looks really level. I think best spot is here or right here. We could also keep driving down the road to see if there's anything better, but I don't know how we would get back if there isn't.
I want to see what else is out there. We have 5 hours to pick a spot, really, so I think we could look around.
Yeah, we can look around. All right, let's go. Okay, I am officially starting to get a little bit concerned. There's no more spots. It looks like we're just on a gravel road now.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't like it.
there's more brush now than there was like 5 minutes ago. And it's starting to get more rutted on this, not really a cliffside, but not really a...
Not a cliffside.
Not a cliff.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'm starting to panic. I mean, the road is it's a good road.
It's nice and wide, yeah.
I'm just like, I don't like the unknown. Okay, well, let's just keep going. I mean, unless you want to turn around, but there's nowhere to turn around.
Okay, fine. I think let's give it another 10 minutes And if we don't see anything, we'll find a way to turn around and head back to the ones we've already seen.
I'm definitely regretting doing this right now. I'm like shaking a little bit. He just ran up this hill to see if we can go up the hill because there's somebody parked right here. This would be an ideal spot where we're at, but there's a car over here. But I just don't want to get up the hill and we can't turn around. That was rocky, what we just went through.
Okay, Ash, come this way.
You sure?
Right here, follow me.
There's a lot of divots right here.
Yeah, so go this way. Yeah, there you go. Nice and straight, and then pull in like this.
Now turn?
Yeah, start turning to me.
I'm done.
It's a lot less steep than it looks.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to turn me around? Oh, you want to camp here?
Yeah, she's not coming back, I asked.
Is she angry?
No, she was just like, I'm trying to leave. Like, that's all.
I was like, well, yeah, we're trying to get out of your way, but we're scared.
Right. So I think, here, come out.
I think you got this.
Oddly enough, we were just telling Jennifer and Preston that I'm better at directions and she's better at the driving when it comes to situations like this, but we had to swap roles.
Yeah, I'm a scaredy cat.
Ashley and I had to take a little break from the camera because Ashley got a little scared that once we unhooked, the trailer was just gonna roll off the hillside. So I even parked our Tundra in the back of it. So if it does roll, we'll hit the Tundra before we roll off the side of the cliff. But we are officially level, front to back, side to side, and fully set up for this 72-hour boondocking challenge. And let me just say, boondocking and getting everything situated for boondocking is way harder than anybody makes it seem to be on YouTube. So I really do feel like we just learned how to RV all over again. This is insane.
Getting ready to shower. What do you think is the best way to conserve water?
Okay, so we have this shower miser valve. What you're gonna do is flip it upwards like that, and it'll pump water to this, and then it circulates it back into the freshwater tank.
Okay.
I will let you know once this reaches the temperature that you want it to reach. Guys, we are so tired. I don't think either of us have expected the results of the 24-hour road trip to last this long.
Yeah, it's like jet lag, but worse.
Yeah.
Because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Honestly, because we're in the middle of nowhere, we just want to like shut down and do nothing. But yeah, we gotta entertain you, so. Okay, 2 full showers later. You wash your hair,
Yeah.
I'll wash my hair. Let's see what we're at with water-wise. As you guys saw in the intro, we were full, and we're still full, okay.
Do we think that's accurate? I don't know. We took some really fast showers. That's probably the fastest I've ever showered
Yeah.
in the existence of time.
Okay.
So hopefully we don't have to shower like that long again.
Now we're just wrapping up with some dinner for the night. Oh, dishes is another thing I forgot all about. Oh, that's okay.
Maybe we'll do them all later.
Yeah. First full night of boondocking was a success. Went to bed last night with 72%. Woke up with 68% battery life.
And honestly, we were being really conservative.
Yeah.
Last night, obviously the sun set and we didn't turn anything on.
No.
We had no idea what to expect, like power-wise. So we were afraid to use any of the appliances. So we kind of just sat in the dark and hung out.
Right. The only thing that we had on was the water heater, the water pump. And once we were done using those went off. And we solely relied on our little like self-battery powered sconces to light the RV, and that was it.
Which honestly, that was a good call. I'm glad we had those because they would have been pitch black.
I'm glad we put them back.
This morning, before the sun was even out, Diego decided to make coffee, and while it was brewing, it dropped our battery percentage into the 30s. But as soon as we turned it back off, it started to climb again. And honestly, our biggest fear last night came from one of you guys saying that they had the exact same unit and the fridge drained the batteries completely. And we bought a lot of food before we came on this trip because we're not getting paid again until the middle of May. And we were really afraid that this fridge was gonna go kaput and our meat would spoil. But I'm glad it didn't. It worked out very well. It stayed, I mean, it only dropped to the 60s, so.
My thought is that as long as we stay pretty sunny and like not overcast, because we definitely looked at the weather and it said it was going to be overcast for like the 3 days that we were going to be here, I think we'll be fine. You know, This sun is gonna power us completely, and I think we're good. We're in the best position. We're on top of the hill. We have no trees blocking our sunlight. And our 2 solar panels, let me show you where they're at. So for all my solar friends out there, here's the interesting part about our solar system. We have our 2 190 watt solar panels, 380 watts total. And I do apologize because I know in the intro I said 380 kilowatt hours. I got that wrong. But they have us fully charged back up to 100%, and it's only 11 a.m. Obviously, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys. I'm not gonna let our food go to waste. If you catch last week's video, you know that we do have a very small generator with us. But if we pull that out, then I think that this challenge is a complete failure because we were not able to rely on our solar system. Now we're gonna make the rest of today a complete and total work day. We're gonna charge our batteries, we're gonna charge our laptops, all the good jazz, and we'll catch back up with you guys at dinner time.
We got so much work done today because even though we are on our epic summer road trip, yes, we had videos to edit and content to create. I know, boring stuff. But that being said, everything has gotten charged. Our laptops, the drone, the GoPro, everything is at 100%, including our batteries. And that is a really good feeling going into day 3 of this boondocking challenge. Now we're gonna make one of our favorites, chicken fried rice on the Blackstone, relax, enjoy the sunset, and have a great evening before our fun activities tomorrow. Between showers, going to the bathroom, brushing our teeth, and doing the dishes, we are officially at 2/3 left of fresh water. And I think that's pretty good as today is day 3.
Right, but we're not worrying about any of that today because we're officially 1 hour away from White Sands National Park, and that'll be park number 10 out of 63 that we visited together. So I have a question for all my experienced boondockers out there. What do you do with all your outside gear?
It's not that we don't feel safe out here. We're just gonna be gone for an extended period of time today, and I just wanna put everything out of sight, out of mind, because the last thing we would want is for somebody to drive by and see all of this stuff just sitting out here.
Yeah.
I don't feel unsafe. It's just our first time.
Yeah. So what would you guys do? What do you recommend us do? Put everything away, leave it outside? Let us know in the comments below.
And for those of you wondering, of course, Mr. Carter is coming along with us. Oh, he's so excited. He loves the outdoors. Good boy, good boy. Sorry guys, I misspoke earlier. White Sands is actually closer to 2 hours away from where we were at boondocking. But before we get there, I just wanted to let you know that we knew nothing about this national park. So I decided to do some research on the NPS website. And it told us that the most popular thing to do there is to go sledding down the dunes, and you best believe we're gonna go try and do that. It also said that the sun is hot and fierce out here, so make sure to cover up. We've got our sun shirts on, and we've got our sunscreen, so hopefully we will stay protected from the sun. Last but not least, it said that each person should have at least a gallon of water on them, and I'm really glad we had these already. So hopefully we're really prepared to go to this national park, and I think we're pretty excited.
Yeah, we are.
White Sands National Park! We just got here and we can already tell this is gonna be a solid national park.
Yeah, the visitor center is right at the entrance, which is great because I get to do my stamp sticker patch. So I have my stamp, and I have my regional stamp for the national park. On top of this patch that I can't wait to put on the roof. Look how cool that looks.
That's the best one yet.
That's the best one yet.
It's
hands
so
down.
pretty.
All right,
Okay.
let's go grab a map. And I mean, we already know where to head essentially, but I like having maps too. Really quick, let's talk about the highway robbery we just experienced, because this thing cost us to rent $17 plus a $10 hold.
Plus the $3 wax.
Plus the $3 wax that isn't supplied unless you say, yeah, I'll take it. On top of that, thank you for stopping, by the way, because I was about to hit that car. On top of that, the adult one was $27 with a $150 deposit. That's insane.
For a piece of wood.
Yeah. It's like they're banking on the fact that everybody's going to want to do this.
Yeah.
And we just don't have anything to do it. So we opted for the kids one, but realistically, now that I'm holding it,
It's pretty small.
it's pretty small.
Wish us luck.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I don't need to show my pass. Let's go. I do have my annual pass, just in case you guys were wondering. we've made it to the sleddable dunes. Remember, we got one kid sled with us. Before I go down, I'm gonna wax this sucker. And I'm out of breath because to get up here was a pretty steep climb. And you know what? While I have you, let me just say, once again, thank you so much for helping us reach 1,000 subscribers. But I was thinking, I have one more favor to ask of you guys. Can you help us reach 5,000 subscribers? Oh shit. By the end of this summer.
We're gonna do a couple more of these, and honestly, it's got us beat.
Call it a day. I'm more winded than doing the sunrise trail I'm out right here. Beat.
We've always heard about the world's largest pistachio, but we never quite knew where it was. But let me tell you, we just found it.
Yeah, had we never planned to boondock around here, go to White Sands National Park, we never would have found this place.
Pistachios are quite literally our favorite road trip snack, so this is a treat.
Free samples are great and all, but we're saving ourselves for some pistachio ice cream instead. I am a waffle cone guy, so that waffle cone's coming home with me.
You want to split a pistachio milkshake? I think it sounds good.
It's good. They put a little bit of like one of the spicy pecans in there.
No.
Pecans? No, these aren't pecans. What are these? Pistachios. Pistachios. I knew what they were. I was tricking you guys. That was good.
Yeah?
That's really good. I like it a lot. Now let's get back on the road. All right, now that we're on the road full time, we have to deal with the logistics of picking up packages, and it's proving to be a little bit more difficult than we thought. This package that we're picking up today, you guys are gonna get to see later down the road in a new video, but we almost didn't get to pick it up because we didn't think it was gonna be here in time. Then while we were leaving White Sands National Park, we got a notification that it had arrived. Now after that notification, I definitely did call to confirm because coming back to Roswell was 2 hours away. And that's when they told me that it was $8 to pick this up. And I'm not sure if that's all UPS stores or FedEx or whatever, but maybe it varies. Didn't expect to pay $8 for someone to hold my package for me. Okay guys, I can officially say that we have completed this 72-hour boondocking challenge.
Our batteries never fully drained, our fridge stayed on the whole time, and we never had to bust out the generator.
Nope.
If this has taught us anything, I think it showed us that we really love boondocking and we want to be able to do it for a bigger period of time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think in the future we want bigger batteries and more solar panels and just ways to keep us off grid longer.
Right. I think, you know, I hate to call you out, but your biggest concern was that we couldn't run the AC.
Yeah.
And we just don't have the solar system to do it. You saw the batteries we're working with, you saw the solar panels we're working with. They're just not gonna run our AC. Maybe later down the road, we can do an upgrade that will allow us to do that, but just not right now. But from we've seen, we can do it. We can go off grid. We definitely couldn't do this with the Prowler.
No.
But
this is, you really did your research right and you picked the perfect rig for us to start being able to do this.
Thank you, babe. That's so sweet of you to say that. So we are gonna wrap this up though, and we are continuing this boondocking challenge into next week's video where we take on Sedona, Arizona. So we gotta pack it up. We gotta get out of this sketchy little spot that we put ourselves in. And we'll see you later, wannabes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.